Well, good morning. Good, beautiful Wednesday morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and we will be glad in it. It is a beautiful morning, and I hope you have awakened with joy in your heart, that you have awakened in such a way as that you feel good, that God is leading you and He is making straight your ways before your face, that He is making His way straight, as Psalm 5:8 tells us. Today we're going to talk some out of John 21. John 21, we're going to talk verses 15 to 17. John 21, verses 15 to 17. Now, before I read the verses, we need to know that the disciples have been out, they have been out fishing, and that Jesus has appeared to them, and that they have come to the shore, and that they have now had breakfast, and that they are there with Jesus around the fire. Have you ever imagined yourself that close to Jesus? That you are just sitting there by the fire with Him and you're just having that loving conversation. He welcomes you to that place and you are just having that conversation. Has Jesus ever been that real to you? I hope He has been. Let's read chapter 21, verses 15 to 17. It says, "So when they had eaten breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, 'Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these?' He said to him, 'Yes, Lord, you know that I love you.' He said to him, 'Feed my lambs.' He said to him again a second time, 'Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me?' He said to him, 'Yes, Lord, you know that I love you.' He said to him, 'Tend my sheep.' He said to him the third time, 'Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me?' Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, 'Do you love me?' And he said to him, 'Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you.' Jesus said to him, 'Feed my sheep.'" Now we have to remember that this is after Peter had denied Christ 3 times. It should not be lost on us that Peter denied Christ 3 times and that Jesus restores Peter 3 times. That shouldn't be lost on us. But each time that Jesus talks to Peter, and each time that Peter says that he loves him, Peter is growing more emotional. Now, it also should not be lost on us that when Peter denied Jesus, he grew more vehement each time. He grew more emotional each time. And by the third time that he denied Christ, he actually cursed and said, "I do not know the man." And here, Jesus is asking him, "Do you love me?" And you can imagine that Peter has a great deal of grief, that he has a great deal of guilt, that he is dealing with many emotions. And Jesus knows that. He knows that. So as he's talking to Peter, he asks him the first time, the second time, and by the third time, we see that Peter has reached a level of emotion where he is grieved. He's grieved in his heart. And he says, "You know all things, Lord, I love you." It shouldn't be lost on us either that each time that Peter says, "I love you," Jesus says, "Feed my lambs, tend my sheep. Feed my sheep." The way that we demonstrate our love for Jesus, the way we demonstrate our love for God, is not through words, though prayer and communion is very important. It's not through meditation. It's not through going to church. Those are all very important. But the thing that tells us whether we love God or not is Jesus says, "If you keep my commandments and if you love one another." Later, we find out that to love God means loving His people. And if we love God, if we say we love God and we hate our brother, 1 John tells us we're a liar and the truth is not in us. So it's very important that we understand that it is in loving our brother, in loving our sister, in loving those that are lost, those that are searching, and loving those that are different than us. It's very important that we understand that is how we love God in this world. That we can give money, that we can do great things in the church, that we can wear a cross around our neck, that we can carry a Bible everywhere we go. But if we are not actively loving God's sheep, if we're not actively feeding God's lambs, then we are not loving Him as we should. How do we feed the lambs? How do we tend the sheep? How do we feed the sheep? Well, that is through encouragement of one another. That is through uplifting one another. That is through bearing one another's burdens. That is through bearing spiritual fruit so that people see who we are. That is through spreading the gospel. There are many ways that we can feed lambs, that we can feed sheep. But we must first be on track with loving Christ. I want you to be encouraged today. I want you to look at yourself, and this is not a guilt trip. This is not a way to make you feel burdened today or feel grieved at your soul. That is not what we're after here. What we're after is just sitting down and taking a clear inventory. We take a clear inventory and we say, where are we? We love our family. Good. We love our church. Good. We love our neighbor that lives next door. Good. But I'm struggling with my brother over here. Okay, now we know where to work. That is what Jesus is after. We are after feeding our sheep, tending our lambs, being that under shepherd to Christ. Now, some would back up and say, well, that's the pastor's job, or that's the deacon's job, or that is the WMU's job. What I'm telling you is that is everybody's job. That is what we do as disciples of Jesus Christ. I want you to be encouraged today. I want you to feel uplifted. I am praying for you, and I know you're praying for me. I am praying for this nation. I am praying for this world. I'm praying that God will send a revival, that He will send an awakening on this country and on this world, the likes of which we have never seen, and that we turn and we focus our eyes once again upon the cross. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.